The price of SOL, of the Solana token, underperformed most other cryptocurrencies in the last month. The question is this potentially an opportunity to buy the dip? Let's have a look at some on-chain data most people are not considering. Now we're currently at $188. And in the last month, we went down by 15%. Now, a lot of cryptocurrencies went down. For example, Ethereum did even worse than Solana. But Bitcoin's loss in comparison was only half of that of Ethereum and Solana. So what's going on? What's very interesting is that the capital that's locked on the Solana chain actually did not go down that much. Solana was one of the best performers in the last month. Yes, everything went down, but the total value locked on SOL barely moved. And why is that? It's because of Binance staked SOL. That increased by roughly 200 million. And it seems to grow quite consistently over time. Here's the Binance website that offers Solana staking, so you can get 8.5% APR by locking up to your SOL. And Binance has clearly been the driver of Solana staking in the last few weeks. Have a look at the different staking protocols. What we've got over here in orange, that's the Binance staked Solana. Now, when a cryptocurrency gets staked, that means that supply that used to be liquid now becomes illiquid. So we reduce the liquid supply, and when the demand can just stay stable at the same time, the price should go up. Now, this of course also works the other way around, right? Once people unstake their crypto, then there's more supply hitting the market, and that then depresses the price. Now, how much more potential is there for Solana staking? Because right now the trend looks pretty healthy. There's now 36 million Solana staked across all the protocols. And that's proportional to the total supply of 592 million. And that's relative to the total supply of 592 million. So currently, roughly 6% of Solana is staked. Now let's compare this with Ethereum. Because for Ethereum, it seems like now we have seen this inflection point of people actually starting to unstake. So here's the staked ETH over time. And in the last month, we don't see that growing anymore. It seems to now turn around. Now, how much percent of Ethereum is now staked? We are at roughly 34 million. And that's to be seen in relationship to the 120.5 million. So roughly 28% of Ethereum gets staked. Only 6% of Solana, 28% of Ethereum. So there might be quite a bit of more growth for Solana. The more Solana gets staked and the more Ethereum gets unstaked, the more we should see Solana outperform Ethereum. Now, is that happening? Here is the Solana chart relative to Ethereum. There is a lot of volatility. We have seen more than 80% crashes several times in relative valuation. Since the beginning of this chart in August of 2020, we saw Solana outperform Ethereum by 560% roughly. And so yes, the air might be getting thin at the current level, but still we're talking about long-term trends here. I believe that Solana has more than just 30% potential versus Ethereum. I believe that SOL will make new all-time highs versus Ethereum in the long term. Short term, of course, everybody is very cautious because when we look at Solana's dominance, so how much of cryptocurrency's market cap is in Solana, we tend to not grow above this certain threshold. We are always hitting the 3.6% mark. We are not getting really above that. But if we continue to see more and more of the supply getting staked, and maybe 1 year from now, this will grow once again by roughly 20 million. Then we've got another 3% of the supply that gets tucked away. And of course, there is a leverage effect, right? When suddenly 3% of the supply is gone, then the price can easily go up by 9, 10, maybe 11%, depending on, of course, how liquid the order books are. Coupling that then with the unstaking of Ethereum, maybe the outperformance will be 15%, maybe 20%. Of course, it also depends on the usage of the chains. Let's have a quick look at the usage. Solana was able to slightly scale over time, so the transactions per second roughly doubled in the last 3 years. The success rate stayed stable. The number of active wallets jumped in the last quarter. And there seems to be a bit of a stickiness effect because have a look at the new accounts created in July versus the new accounts created afterwards. The number of new accounts actually went down comparatively speaking, yet the number of active wallets is higher on this second run-up. Now, a lot of this is caused by the Pump.fun ecosystem. So that's the Memecoin launchpad on Solana. The launchpad is not just used for meme coins now, it's also used for AI platforms. But we can clearly see how the number of transactions grew massively because of Pump.fun. We can ignore the latest data point because January is not yet over. More than half of the transactions on Solana are now Pump.fun related. That doesn't mean though that the US dollar amount that's moved with Pump.fun is half of Solana's. It's actually just a small fraction. What I find interesting is how aggressively the centralized exchanges and the market makers bought the leading Pump.fun ecosystem tokens. A lot of the decentralized exchange trading volume happened directly on Solana for Pump.fun up until November, but then in December and also in this month, only 6 to 7% is directly Pump.fun related. So it's the new small tokens that still get traded on Pump.fun, but the very large tokens now get traded directly on the centralized exchanges, on the HTXs, on the Binances, on the Qcoins of this world. And so really over time, it seems like speculation will continue to fuel the growth of Solana. Just have a look at how the decentralized exchange trading volume on Solana moved from a few $100 million to a few $1 billion to now hundreds of billions of dollars per month. All of that trading volume, of course, also attracts liquidity in forms of trading fees, and Pump.fun is growing the fastest. Now, since Bitcoin hit 100K, it has a pretty hard time climbing. We actually tended to see lower highs and lower lows in the last weeks. And at the same time, there isn't any more money flowing into crypto. This is the stablecoin market cap over the last weeks. And if this continues for too long, then things could potentially turn around again and we could start another bear market. Now, what happened over here was the Terra Luna collapse, right? This is when the Anchor protocol went bust, when the UST stablecoin imploded. It started a bear market that lasted for more than a year, during which also FTX collapsed. But then in October of 2023, we turned around. But now it seems like the market has a hard time expanding further. It's truly becoming player versus player again. Now, when there's altcoin season, we can buy pretty much any cryptocurrency and they all double and triple. But I'm not sure how close that is. Have a look at the others dominance. So this shows how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that are not in the top 10. And yes, this tends to rise over time and the current risk to reward doesn't look too bad. But have a look at the inverse of that, the Bitcoin dominance. When the Bitcoin dominance is very high and it then subsequently crashes, that's when there's altcoin season, right? The altcoins become more important. Bitcoin becomes in turn less important. Now, there's been two major altcoin seasons in the past. One happened at the end of 2017. The other happened at the beginning of 2021. So it's marked here by those yellow circles. Here is the long-term Bitcoin price with those same yellow circles. So when did altcoin season happen in the past? It happened after we had already a massive bull run in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin made its multiple X returns from the last bear market. And when Bitcoin was very high and when people wondered what's the next Bitcoin, that's then when the altcoins went off. Now the question is the current bull market enough? Last time when we started altcoin season, we went up by almost 1,000%. This time we went up by only 500% roughly. We are a little bit in no man's land. It seems like we're in a similar situation to September of 2018. So that's here, this red circle, right? We are pretty much at the same level in Bitcoin dominance. We are not at those extreme heights where more than 70% of the crypto market is Bitcoin. We are still just at 58% dominance. And so really navigating a time like this is relatively hard. It's more important to really have an edge in the market, to know more than the average market participant, to buy the assets that other winners are buying as well. Just have a look at how confused the market currently is. The best category within crypto in the last 7 days was AI frameworks. But the worst performing category was AI memes. So we can't say that everything AI is going up. Returns are getting more and more concentrated in just a few winners. If you make a 10x, then 9 other people have to lose pretty much everything. It's zero sum right now. The market isn't expanding in the last weeks. And so here is how I navigate the situation. I'm tracking other influencers that tend to make very good trades. For example, here, Kyle Chessy. Kyle Chessy bought the GOAT token at 14 cents. So that was over here. Subsequently, the price went up by more than 800%. But it's important to also take profit because once attention moves to the next token and the price goes down, we are now only at 33 cents again. You want to be early. You don't want to buy into a token where attention tends to decline. Or here, another Kyle Chessy purchase, Fartcoin at 5 cents. Again, a very, very nice run, more than 3,000%. But now attention is declining again, right? It's player versus player. The assets aren't growing that quickly anymore. One more Kyle Chessy purchase at 0.3 cents. 13 comments. Now Griffane is at 44 cents. So a 14,000% gain. And so this is what the game is all about. It's about buying things when not a lot of people know about this. It's about buying things when the insiders start to get in, when the top traders start to get in. Now I've talked about Kyle Chessy now several times. Here is his YouTube channel. He's got 142,000 subscribers. And the reason why we know what he's buying is because we track his wallets. We've got 12 of his wallets where we get signals whenever he's buying or selling something. But we're not just tracking Kyle Chessy. We are also tracking Alex Becker. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. When he talks about a token, of course this generates attention, and attention turns into purchases. We've got 12 of Alex Becker's wallets. Or here we've got Crypto Banter. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. And we've got 33 of their wallets. And so how can we be early? We can be early by buying the things when all the top people are getting in. And so of course now it's more important than ever to be part of this inner circle, right? To not just buy something random on a list, because I'm not sure how close altcoin season really is. Now of course not every trade that an influencer makes will make thousands of percent, because especially the larger tokens, they need a lot of capital to move the price, but the smaller tokens, they are more high risk but also more high reward. And so I really like this strategy. I like the strategy of trying to find other influencer wallets, because the influencers of course don't post this officially. We have to use on-chain analytics to find them. And so I've made several videos. First of all, how can we find those wallets, but then also how can we track the wallets? How can we get alerts whenever they buy or sell? And then how can we interpret the alerts that we get from the tracking? It's all part of the premium membership of this channel. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics. It's also about risk management. There's more than 100 videos in total. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first week and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. And so does it make sense to buy Solana right now? In the end, it's still a blue cap, right? It's not going to make a 100x from here because the market cap is already very large, but I do think it's the better large cap compared to buying Ethereum, for example. Will it outperform Bitcoin? That probably depends on the ETF inflows into BTC. Solana doesn't yet have a highly traded ETF, but I would not be surprised whatsoever that people will get more excited about a Solana ETF compared to the Ethereum ETF. And that will of course be another driver for SOL to outperform ETH. The staking dynamics are very promising, but I do believe simply because of the lower trading fees, Solana is likely going to see also more adoption going forward compared to Ethereum. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers.